Sir, I want to renew my lorry driver license.
Lorry license. Document. Sir, where is your medical report?
I need medical report.
Lorry driver now need medical report to renew. You don't know, man?
Don't know.
现在问
Doctor, I want to do the body check for renew my lorry license.
Okay, can.
A few moments later.
This is your medical report.
Okay. Thank you.
The next day.
So, I want to renew my lorry license, and this is my body check report.
Okay. Okay, done.
Thank you. According to just now we show the video, is the lorry driver license video. When they want to renew their lorry license, they need to go hospital to body checkup first, and the blood pressure and the diabetes is acceptable, so they can renew their license. And this policy is effectiveness to the safety of the road user. So we recommend to governments they can come up another policy to the lorry driver, and they also can provide allowance for the lorry driver, so that when they go to body checkup, they can claim the allowance. And the last, government also can provide a tax relief for the lorry driver. Hey, where's the bell?
Aya no lead lah, also no police. Aya no lead lah, also no police.
Cik, license IC mana? Why behind no seatbelt one?
Aya, never mind lah, won't get saman also.
Budak ni jahat dah, kurang ajar. Right. As you can see from the story that we presented just now, the effectiveness for the policy for this passenger wearing seatbelts is not so effective in Malaysia as compared to in Singapore. We as a Malaysia, when we go into Singapore, the passenger will automatically wearing seatbelt in Singapore, but we don't have the habits to wearing seatbelt in Malaysia. So as from this point, we can see that the effectiveness for this policy is not so effective, and we can see that it's bad. So the recommendation that we can give to the government for this policy is the government can be more strict on this policy. For example, the government can giving summons or like deducting the marks from the license. So another thing that government can do is the government can give awareness talks to the public, so that the public will have the awareness of not wearing seatbelt as a passengers. Oi, you cannot capture by AES eh?
Yeah? How?
You need to pay summon and JBJ will deduct your point.
Okay, okay.
regarding to the car speeding on the highway, our government did a group jobs to how they prevent the drivers speeding fast. Previously, they have implemented the policies by installing the AES on the high frequencies accidents on the spot. In result, the driver has slowed down their speeds to avoid being captured by the AES. Now, they have enhanced these policies. They think that not only to have the giving fine to the drivers, but also having the demerit point system. This has created the awareness of the drivers to avoid them to speeding fast on the highway, and this makes sure all the drivers can drive safely on the roads.
Hey, Ajan! Why is you not sitting on a baby car seat? Do you know start from next year, 2020, all baby are required to sit on a baby car seat. If
I
not, you
don't
get
know
fined.
He usually use a seat like this one.
And you know, it's very dangerous like this. I'll show you a video, you see?
Really?
More than 1,000 children 12 and under die in car crashes every year. This is why infant and child car seats are so important. They hold child passengers in place as the vehicle's front end does its job of crumpling and absorbing energy. This test demonstrates something parents don't even want to think about: an unprotected infant smashing into the instrument panel.
If the child is sitting forward-facing in a frontal collision, this exerts huge forces on the shoulder and neck regions, as well as on the child's head. This can lead to death or permanent injuries as paralysis. If your child is sitting rear-facing during a collision, the force will be spread over a greater area of the body, and there'll be less pressure on the neck, head, and inner organs. If your child sits rear-facing instead of forward-facing, this reduces the risk of serious injuries and death by more than 90%. Children should therefore be seated rear-facing as long as possible.
Another new policy that has been implemented is that baby car seat have become compulsory for every baby to sit in a car. It could not be considered as this is a very effective plan, but from the side of road safety, it is an effective plan. The problem that faced here is that many parents disagree with this policy, as not every family is affordable to buy the baby car seat for each of their kids, as baby car seat is costly. So there is some improvement that should be made by the government. And it is undeniable that it is an effective policy, as it can ensure their babies to be in a safe situation when the accidents happen. This can also prevent the parents to be regret when the accidents have happened. The recommendation for this policy implementation is that related jabatan can put the documentary film in public area to let the parents know about the impact of not giving their kids sitting in the baby car seat. And this film can also be played as an advertisement in Facebook or YouTube, so that more people can pay more attention regarding this issue. And just now we mentioned that the parents can be burdensome to them, as their income are not allowed for them to incur more costs. So government actually can give some assist with this issue, giving allowance such as including baby car seats as tax relief to the parents' tax schedule. Furthermore, the customs departments can also lower the imports fee charged to the provider of these baby car seats, so that the parents that willing to buy the baby car seats can enjoy a lower price than the normal price.
There is also another issue that government need to pay attention with, which is the teen cyclists that happens 2 years ago, which now is also an issue to Malaysians' road safety, which is the teen cyclist happened 2 years ago in Johor. 8 teens is killed by a female driver 2 years ago at the early morning 3 a.m. Who are the one that is responsible for this issue? Their parents are the first one that should be blamed with. There are a few recommendations that that our group will be recommend to the government, which is firstly to meet with their parents, this time teen cyclist parents, to have a talk with them, discuss with them how to like settle this problem with their children. Secondly, which is to send this teen cyclists to prison to experience the life in prison, and not giving them conviction recorded, because they are still young and innocent. They are not experienced enough. And thirdly, which is to implement a policy to stop them from riding during midnight outside. And fourth, which is to give them curfews, stopping them going out during midnight. However, this is not very effective, as they can still cycle outside during morning. These are the few recommendations that our group will give to tackle this issue.